All right. Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas. What's up? I'm sorry. It's your boy Paul Miranda coming up and direct from the box. It's the Real Talk Nation trying to give you something new, something fresh. Definitely keeping it different from all the rest. Let me turn this one off. I'm just trying to make sure the sound was good. The Real Talk Nation trying to give you something new. Let's do this right quick. How do I get this out here? Man, I got all these new gadgets and stuff that I'm trying to get used to, man. Still ain't quite got it yet. So bear with me 1 second. I got all these new gadgets. Let me do it this way. Now I can get rid of it. I'm sorry. All right, now we got that out the way. All right. Today, April 21st, the day after my son, my oldest boy, Jules Miranda, turned 23 as of yesterday. I don't know if you guys saw the Facebook and the Twitter and the IG postings of us pigging out at King Crabs over there off of the tollway right there, or whatever it is, right here in Grand Prairie, rather. George Bush it is. George Bush Tollway. I'm sorry. You know, you gotta say exactly, you know, what everything is now that we're live and so forth. So listen, I definitely want to start off the show right by thanking all of you guys and gals that helped me raise this kid. You know, I think, you know, man, so blessed to have had so many people involved with helping this young man become who he is today. You know, I'm pumping my chest out as a father right now because next month around this time, we will be celebrating, actually 2 months, because we're going to probably do a party. But next month, we will be celebrating Julian getting his master's degree. He's already got a finance degree, and now he's getting his master's in sports management. So a big accomplishment there. And again, I want to make sure that everyone knows that has played a part in from coaching to teaching, you know, to, you know, at the rec centers, you know, the summer camps, or, you know, the after school programs, the babysitters and all that. Man, the Mirandas, thank you. Both me and my wife, Adriana, you know, couldn't have, you know, had it, I think, any easier, you know, raising this kid, man. And which leads me to one of my whys, actually my why. You know, you've been hearing me talk a lot lately about how I do a lot of this for free. I don't get paid to market your kids. You know, I call this giving back. You know, should we get paid doing this? Absolutely. You know, it's hard work, and there are a lot of good guys out there doing that. You know what I'm saying? And tonight's show is appropriately fitting air out session. You know, we got some guys that, you know, that some coaches out there that really work hard at their craft, and not only trying to, especially the ones that have kids. You know, you guys at the younger age group, man, I remember those days and how hard that is to do that. You know, balancing trying to get your kid right as well as everybody else's kid right. You know what I'm saying? That's a tough job. You know, and to hear, as y'all know the story, you know, earlier in the from last weekend, I guess. A parent shoots a coach in the head over playing time. Yikes. Man, that in itself is a scary thought, man. And I've seen some, you know, the Chop Shop likes to call it Parents Gone Wild, and that's definitely a good title. But man, I've seen some crazy ass parents in my time, and so I can imagine, you know, what that scene must have been like. You know, tragic. I hate that, but I wanted to start off tonight's show saying that, recognizing those coaches out there that put in that work for not only their kid, but everybody else's kid as well. Shout out to all the coaches out there that's doing this thing for free. Let me also open this chat room up right quick, y'all. Matt Classic, thank you, my brother. I'm sorry. What do? Miss you, man. I miss you, dog. Hey, man, I need you. You know what? I'm gonna call you later. I ain't gonna call no names out tonight, man. Yeah, not like that anyway. But I need you to talk to somebody for me, by the way. But I'll hit you up on that, man. It's so good having my some of my old guys, that I haven't seen around in the gym much here lately. Joining me on the show. Pete was definitely one of my guys that rocked with me back in the days when we did the old podcast. Definitely good to see him back. Pete Ely, man, that's my dude, man. I miss you, dog. All right, so Pete knows what I'm talking about, man. He's seen some great, crazy things in these gyms as well. I mean, like I said, seeing, or shall I say, hearing the coach that got shot in the head. And by the way, it was just a graze, I do believe. It did come out. I think it was just a graze. But the fact that this guy pulls a gun out on a coach, right, over playing time is tragic. It's just I just have no words for that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just there's no place for that in this game, man. I don't even know. I know it was a younger group, but anyway, sad. But like I said, I wanted to make sure that I said to a lot of the old coaches that had to deal with my kid and the coaches that deal with my youngest son, Zay right now, big shout outs, big ups and props to all you guys out there that make this thing happen. I know the high school guys are definitely appreciative of the hard work and energy and time and money that you put into this. And I didn't want to go any further tonight without recognizing you guys off the top, to express my gratitude, not just for my kid and the help that I got. I did want to make that number one, but also I wanted to bring about your attention, parents, of always maintaining your cool, even when it's so hard, not to. These kids are watching, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I was a parent, and I was pretty off the chain. I was really in some heated moments and so forth. But to fight, to shoot, to want to stab, to cause physical harm, nah, we didn't take it that far. We yelled at some referees. We don't do that. We're gonna yell at some referees. We're gonna yell at some coaches. I mean, I had my share time of yelling at some coaches, man. In particular, my boy Jazzy. Oh man, did this not go through? Hang on, y'all. I'm gotta make sure this went through, man. It didn't go through. I'd be dang. Check that out. You try. I don't know why that's not. All right, something happened. Something happened to my tweet to go out on here, so I don't know what all went down on this. I'm just trying to make sure this was. All right, for some reason it didn't go through, but anyway, we'll let that go. All right, so tonight's show, y'all. Tonight's show, with all that's been going on with the tragic scenario with the coach getting, somebody pulled a gun out on the coach and so forth. It got me to thinking, and I already had one of my guests lined up to be on the show tonight. I had another guest that was supposed to be on, and something happened. I don't know, but he big timed me, and just gotta leave it at that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not gonna call out any names on that, but all right, you not want to be on the show, it's cool. You ain't gonna get no argument from me. You ain't gonna get no hostility and no resentment from me. It's good. Don't tell me you want to be on the show and you don't show up on me. Now, George Clay, he was going to come on as well with us tonight. He's sick. He's good. I'm not talking about George. I got another guest that was supposed to be on with us tonight that's actually a program director. So we're going to leave it at that. Tonight's guest, Team TRAE Young, player personnel director, my man, Derek Shelby, will be on with us tonight. And as a matter of fact, let me go ahead and get him his Shelby. Let's go ahead and get him his link right quick and get him on. Put that right there. But Derek Shelby tonight, y'all, is a coach that coach and a player personnel director for many organizations over the period of time that has rubbed some people the wrong way, rubbed me the wrong way a couple of times here and there, but we were able to talk it out. I didn't want to go shoot at him, and he didn't want to go shoot at me. But we talked it out. And let me just put this in right here. Boom, wham. We got that right there. Link to the show. All right. So his son, Noah Shelby, recently committed to Vanderbilt, and we're going to talk. We're going to talk a little bit about that. How it started. How he got started doing this. How did he come up with the plan? I'm sure he had a plan, right? We're going to talk about all that kind of stuff with him tonight, and we're also going to talk about some of the bad things of him having to do this to go through this process. I mean, there's been a lot said, in his face and and not in his face, behind his back, if you will. And we're going to talk a little bit about that. And how did he balance it out, y'all, from the beginning till today? And with that said, there he is, my dude, Derek Shelby. Derek Shelby, what's up, my brother? How you feeling tonight?
Good. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man. I definitely want to first start off by thanking you for coming on, man. It's not easy dealing with the Real Talk Nation from time to time. You know what I'm saying? I was just telling everybody, we've had a couple of issues here and there, but it didn't come to the point of, I don't know if you heard about that little shooting the other day where the parent shoots at the coach over playing time.
Yeah.
Playing time. And it got me to realize on the cool, man, that, maybe how lucky I really been over my time. Got beast up yelling at me the other day, right? Beast up yelling at me on Twitter the other day. Keep that same energy from when I see you. Ooh, is he really talking about that now? You know what I'm saying? We ain't doing no shooting, are we? So those are my questions. But anyway, talk to me, man. First of all, tell me how you feeling, man. What's new going on in the Shelby household? We know pretty exciting times right now, man. You don't have to do a whole lot of worrying anymore. Give me about what's the vibe in the Shelby house right now, man.
You know what? Honestly, first of all, thanks for having me, Paul. Appreciate you doing that, and looking forward to talking to you a little bit tonight about what's going on here. Basically, we're in a really good place. Right. It took a lot of time, a lot of hard work, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, as they say, to get to a point to where you put so much into this thing, trying to help as many kids as you can. And one thing that you have to always do is make sure you take care of your own.
Yes, sir.
And I think a lot of times, you've done what I've just tried to do, right? You've already done it.
Right.
So it's just sometimes it can be really hard because throughout the journey, the end goal has always been free education.
Yes, sir.
That's all we've always talked about in my home is free education.
Yes, sir.
Not NBA, not this, not that. That's just so hard to do. It's almost impossible.
Yes, sir.
Going to college for free is a really, really good deal.
Yes, sir.
And being able to have an opportunity to choose from a lot of schools and picked the one that we thought would be the best fit. I mean,
right.
Vanderbilt checked off all the boxes.
Okay.
And we had a lot of good options from Kansas to Memphis to
yes, sir.
Arizona. There's a lot of great schools.
Right.
And I just think that the Vanderbilt option that they chose, it just checks all the boxes for us. I mean, we're an academic type of family. I do understand that, at some point the basketball is going to stop bouncing, and it's going to stop faster for some than others.
Yes,
but
sir.
no matter what, it's going to stop, right?
Yeah.
And I just think from Noah's lifetime goals, what he wants to do with his life, I was really proud of him make that decision, and we support it full 100%, and we're really excited to be in the place we are, because it's going to be tough out there for 2022.
No doubt.
Because honestly, transfer portal is number one option, right?
No doubt.
Grad transfers is number two option.
Yes, sir.
And then you got all the other things from junior colleges and this and that. And the last people in the totem pole, that 2022 class and that 2021 class, and it's going to be tough out there.
Yeah.
So in this business, Paul, you got to have foresight.
Yeah.
You got to be able to try to look out there and kind of understand what you have, and kind of see what's available. And we've done a lot of research. I've been doing this for a long time, as you know.
Yes, sir.
And I may be a lot of things, but a fool ain't one.
I agree.
We wanted to really look hard at this, and the whole plan was to commit in June.
Right.
But it moved way up.
Right.
And we feel good about it. Praise the Lord that we have this opportunity.
Yeah.
And so Vanderbilt's going to be the move for the board.
Okay. Let me ask you. I got a son, Jules, that had a couple of options on the table, 2 D1 schools and a D2 school. He ended up choosing the D2 school, and more so because academically, he felt more comfortable doing that one. He also made reference about job-wise, after everything stops, he'd be taken care of. It kind of surprised me with, and I don't know why I'm surprised, because he's my son. I've raised him all these years, right? Why am I surprised that he would come at me like that, right? But talk to me, did Noah kind of surprise you with this decision a little bit? What was it that for him, I know we parents, we definitely love the academic piece, right? Mm-hmm. We love the school where he's at, you know what I'm saying? What was it for him that, was there anything surprising that he said when it came down to his decision on that?
Well, you know what? Just like any other kid, he was all over the place. 2 years ago, if he'd had an offer from Kansas, he wouldn't have talked to anybody else.
Right.
6 months ago, it was Baylor.
Okay.
5 months ago, 4 months ago, it was Minnesota.
Okay.
It was Memphis. It was Arizona. I mean, it went back and forth.
Right.
He was a kid, right? Just turned 17 years old. And but one thing about Noah, he's extremely smart. And once we started really writing things down, what we did is that we kept track of contacts.
Okay.
Right? So I started about 4 or 5 months ago having them keep a list of who contacts them.
Okay.
And every month, give me your top 10. And I would see how much it would move.
Right. When you say contact, what are we talking? Assistant coaches, head coaches?
All the above.
Okay. Just trying to, for the listening audience, we got to make sure they understand what we're talking about. Go ahead.
Yep. Assistant coaches, head coaches, any type of contact from that institution. What do they say? What kind of questions did they ask you? So that way you can kind of see, where the attention's coming from the most. And there were always several schools that were up at the top, right? And Vanderbilt was one of those schools that was up at the top all the time. And he also understands he wants an opportunity to try to play, right? There's a lot of big-time schools with big names, and we didn't want to be there waiting to we're a junior to get on the floor, right? We wanted to go to a school where he'd have a chance to, if he'd done his job, play early. And honestly, when you get an opportunity to be evaluated, first of all, there's a lot of great evaluators out there.
No doubt.
There's some really good ones. There's also some really bad ones, right?
No doubt. No
and
doubt.
I made a tweet. I tweeted the other day, just like there's low major, mid major, and high major players.
Yes, sir. I
There's
saw
low
that.
major, mid major, high major evaluators.
Yes, sir.
The one thing that I sit well with is that, you know, Jerry Stackhouse played 18 years in the NBA.
Yes, sir.
He was, I believe, a 2-time G League Coach of the Year.
No doubt. No
Okay?
doubt.
And he watched my son's tape. Okay. So the best evaluation I ever gotten was from a head coach
No
at
doubt.
Vanderbilt University. And of all the ones, that means a lot to us.
No doubt. Well, it should. No doubt.
He began about 2 months ago. I spoke to him on the phone, and he told me from that day forward, only talk to him.
Okay.
So at that point, he took the responsibility from the assistant coach to him. And
Good,
that's where
good.
we wanted to be.
Right.
So
Right.
the head coach began recruiting us for the last 2 months leading up to our decision.
That's awesome.
And
That's awesome.
so that's why we felt so good about it.
Yeah, you should.
And that's why we made our decision to go to
Yeah. Anytime the head coach is involved with the recruitment, that's when it's serious.
Yeah.
You know, parents out there, if you're listening to the assistant coaches, you got to remember something, guys. The game is played like this. This assistant coach has his guy that he's shopping to the coach. The other assistant coach has his guy who he's shopping, who's going to be saying that guy ain't better than my guy. You know, it's going to be a back and forth thing, right? But when the head coach gets involved, that's when it's the real deal time now. That's when the meat and the potatoes are on the table, and it's time to get serious about what we're talking about right here. You coming or not? You know, when the coach comes at you, that's when you better start really having a plan formulated on what you want to do and so forth from there. So kudos to you for recognizing that. How did you come about that theory? I mean, was this something that you asked around? You talked with different coaches or media guys or Paul Biancardi and them kind of guys, anything like that? What pointed you in that direction on that?
As far as the recruiting process?
Yes, sir.
Well, I mean, people don't realize that, I used to do a lot with the Texas Titans.
Yes,
right?
sir. Yep.
I was around the Texas Titans. Like one of my first team was, Mike Miles, Cade Cunningham. We were like 9 years old, right?
Yeah.
But I really watched how things were done. Because when you think about this, Paul, the blueprint's already there.
Yeah.
I watched what you done with your group, with Jules and those guys. I watched how Scott and Jeff molded the Titans. I watched how Big E done and Jazzy and Tony Johnson. So I've done nothing new. I just paid attention, right? Because the guys that have came before me had a good plan that worked out for their kids.
No doubt.
You can learn a lot by paying attention.
No
right?
doubt.
I don't know everything, but I know how to ask good questions, right? But here's what I did that a lot of people probably didn't get a chance to do. When I had 2 kids from Haiti come to my home almost 10 years ago, named Jerry Baptiste and Snyder Herard.
Snyder. I remember the big fellas.
Yeah, when they arrived in America, Noah was in 2nd grade.
Right.
So what I mean by having foresight, this is what I mean.
Yeah.
Those guys were getting a lot of attention. Because of that, I knew that someday Noah would have his turn.
No doubt.
So when he was in 2nd grade, I began to build relationships with national evaluators and head coaches. When he was in 2nd grade. Thinking that maybe if things go well, he will have an opportunity if he continues to play basketball.
Awesome.
So when you talk about having foresight, it's like playing chess. You got to know how to play the game, right? I began molding relationships, that I thought that would someday help not just my kid, but all the kids I've coached. And I've coached some phenomenal kids, right? And by doing that, here's what happened. Because I never lied about Andrew Jones.
No doubt.
They were going to believe me about Noah Shelby or whomever.
Okay. Right.
Because I never lied about Marquise Bolden.
No doubt.
They were going to believe me about Mitchell Robinson.
Right.
Okay. So when you tell them the truth, it just forms a relationship. And what people don't know, Paul, is that I've gotten probably 5 times more calls about other people's kids
No doubt.
than I have my own.
Yes, sir.
So when it comes to a lot of these kids that may be our competition, a lot of times, I've been around for so long, these coaches talk to me.
Right.
I give them my non-biased, educated opinion on that player. Okay. I've never downed the player at all. I tell them what I feel is the truth based on what I've seen. Right. So that's I take this thing seriously when we're dealing with kids.
Right, sir.
But I watched you guys do it, man. I mean, it ain't nothing new.
Okay.
Just pay attention, pray about it, try to make the best decision you can for your child.
Okay. You've listed a slew of guys that were some heavy bangers coming up through the Titans. You saw that whole Titans module, if you will, turn into success. You also were one of the ones. We had Mike Miles' mother, Mickey, on here.
Oh, yeah.
She shouted you out for that. How did you ever end up with the Titans? And Derek Shelby is the name. So now, I guess that kind of answers all you guys' question right now when you say, how come this guy is the player personnel director of TRAE Young, Team TRAE Young? You know what I'm saying? This guy knows how to get guys in the building and get them out there, apparently, right? When you got that kind of a list right there. All right, so you're still a dad, though. You're still a dad, though. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I kind of want to get into, right? You're still a dad. Was there ever a time, man? And I know you said it very well when you said, I've had many calls where we talked about other kids. Was there any time in that moment through this process where you're a little worried your kid wasn't getting enough talks or enough questions asked to you, any of that? And if so, how did you deal with that? And I know you said prayer had a lot to do with all this, but give me your thoughts on it. Empty your guts out for me, man. We're gonna air it out tonight. This is the air out session tonight. All right.
Yeah. Honestly, I wasn't worried a whole lot. The biggest thing was, let him stay healthy, keep growing.
Right.
But one thing that Noah's always been the best at is he makes shots.
Yes, sir.
And as a little bitty kid, I told him, if you can make shots, you can play anywhere. Because when you think about it, the name of the game is to get the ball in the basket, right?
Yeah.
So as we were growing up, 3rd grade nationals, remember back then it was so important to be AAU champs and all that.
Yeah.
People didn't realize in 5th grade, I added 2 players to my team. One was named Bryce Griggs. The other one was Keontae George, right?
Oh, my goodness.
So every single year, I brought in guys that were bigger and better.
Yeah.
And one thing that happened, Paul, is that Noah always rose to the occasion.
Yes.
He always was the guy that can make the shot.
Right.
Keontae and Bryce, they believed in him. Rylan Griffin, they believed in him, right?
Yeah.
And so did I. So I've always told him that as your dad and your coach, this can get really hard.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have to be the best shot maker on the team to play.
Right.
Some of the toughest parts about this, Paul, wasn't Noah. It was coming home, talking to the wife. Right.
Yeah. Always.
That's her baby. Right.
There it is, right there.
You've been there.
Yes, sir.
So I had to make sure that Noah got better and better every year. And honestly, to that kid's credit, every year he's gotten better. What we've done is that we try to master a certain skill set every year. Okay. We want to get better at something every year.
Okay.
And that's worked for us. He's gotten bigger. He's gotten stronger. He's 6'2.5" with shoes on, and he shoots the piss out the ball.
Yes, he does. Yes,
and because of that, and the way the game is being played now, with the way they spread the floor, that's why we love a Steph Curry and a TRAE Young, guys like that, because they created a pathway for kids like him. Noah can see himself being TRAE and Steph. He can't see himself being LeBron or KD, right?
No
doubt. Another reason why Vanderbilt was such an awesome choice is that the way they play.
Right.
I watched them turn Scottie Pippen into a household name.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. A high ball screen in the pro style sets.
Right,
Okay.
right.
Noah will thrive in that system because
Yes.
he can shoot it from anywhere.
Anyway.
And
Yep.
his handle's gotten so good and strong.
Yes. Yep.
That opportunity is huge for me, and that's going to be a great fit, in my opinion. As of today, that's a phenomenal fit for him. But being a dad and a coach is really, really hard, man, because I mean the whole daddy ball thing,
Yeah.
Is thrown out all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So and granted, I mean, when you're a dad and a coach, even if Noah didn't play at all, people probably could still say that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we just kept it moving. We stayed focused and kept getting better, and here we are now, sitting in a pretty good position.
I wanna go on the negative side, if you will, a little bit, and this is not a bad negative. Um, um, you lost one that you had for a while. You just brought his name up, and it goes to what we talked. You just said you got to be able to shoot the ball, especially when it matters. And one thing about Noah that I've always said is the kid can shoot the ball and he stretches the floor. You know what I'm saying? He extends it out. And one of the kids that you lost, Jesus, Rylan Griffin.
Mm-hmm.
Rylan Griffin is a guy who can shoot the ball, but has struggled in 2 playoff games now, right? And kind of been struggling against the tough teams here recently with Drive Nation and so forth. Were any of those thoughts in your head? I'm losing and trying to keep them. I mean, because me, when I always lost a kid, I always tried to talk about what we're trying to work on with the kid to help get him ready. Like for instance, you said, "Hey man, my kid can shoot the ball. We can't deny him that. Everybody sees that, and he hits when it matters." You know what I'm saying? When we got a kid that's not hitting when it matters. You know what I'm trying to say?
Mm-hmm.
How do you try to fix that with a parent that's trying to leave when you know this? And I'm not saying you knew this off the top, saying any of that, but this is what we were saying. Kind of, he can shoot, but can he shoot in the big moment?
As far as Rylan's concerned,
Yeah.
First of all, when you say lost, I've never lost Rylan. Right. And let me explain to that. Noah and Rylan have been best friends since they were 4 years old.
Right.
Rylan's at my house every single week.
Right.
Okay. I'm extremely close to his parents, Ron and Talandra.
Yes.
I've never lost a kid.
Okay.
Because I always kept it in perspective, because this has always been bigger than basketball.
Right.
If basketball was my only motive, yeah, I lost some kids, but it's never been. So my relationship with the Griffin and Rylan is airtight, and it always has been. Rylan would call me after his playoff games. Coach, what did you see?
Yeah.
I do better. Rylan actually just called me just the other day after his last event. Coach, what can I do to be better for the next game?
Yeah.
Okay. Because our relationship is way bigger than that damn ball.
That's good. That's
like my child.
Okay.
Right. True story. Me and Rylan and me and Ron Griffin, we put this together when they were 4.
All right.
Noah and Rylan were the first 2 kids on the team. Okay. So when I say family, that's what I mean. And
right.
The basketball never defined what family was to us.
Okay.
And Rylan stayed where he was at because that was the best opportunity for Rylan.
Okay.
Noah moved on because that was the best opportunity for Noah. And we respect that. I love that.
Okay.
And I love his family. And none of that's ever going to change no matter where we're at, where we play. And me and Rylan are really, really tight. We got a unique relationship. People don't realize I kicked Rylan off my team probably twice.
Okay.
Yeah.
I never heard that one.
Yeah, I kicked him off the team. As a matter of fact, I remember in 5th grade. True story.
Okay. Go ahead.
We're getting ready. We're at practice, and Rylan just talking slick to him. And he never done that.
Rylan?
Yeah.
He's so quiet.
And if you look at it, his mom and dad, that's not part of their.
His mama, hold on. His mama a little firecracker. Hold on. She a little sneaky with her. But daddy and Rylan.
Yeah. And he was just mouthy and talking back, and I don't play that, right?
All right.
Here's what I did. I talked to his dad. Hey, I'm kicking Rylan off the team. I said, I'm not really kicking him off, but I want him to think he's off the team. This is going to be a teaching moment.
Okay.
I went to his house, made him give me his uniform. I even took his socks, Paul. Give me my socks.
Oh, no.
Give me my shoes back, but that changed everything. because he knew he could lose it if he don't behave.
No doubt.
And he's not a bad kid.
I like.
Oh, great kid. Some stuff going on, right?
Great kid.
And so, but Rylan, like I said, we've been together for a long time. I consider him my child. I mean, this is a kid where him and Noah will be best men at each other's wedding, right?
No doubt. Okay.
That's how
okay. All right. You know, so, and I might have said that a little wrong.
No, you're good.
On my, because that was kind of like my analysis somewhat of him versus Noah on the court. And this is what I would tell people. You know, I'm concerned about Rylan in the big game. I'm not concerned about Noah in the big game because the kid know how to shoot the ball, you know, because that's what he does, you know, and it just seems like Rylan, we're just still waiting for something for some reason with him right now.
Yeah, Rylan, I mean, we talk about what he needs to work on, and he will continue to improve.
Okay.
You know, so some things that he's working on now is going to be working on a lot of ball screens, his ball handling, number one.
Yes, big go.
Playing off the ball screens where he can become a true combo. So that's what we talked about just the other day, is what he can be working on to get ready for the next level. And he'll put the work in. I mean, he's getting his body stronger. He's been in the weight room now, you know, getting stronger, getting more physical. So he's going to be just fine. He's just going through a little bit of thing, trying to get ready and get prepared, and he'll be fine when it's all said and done.
Okay. You also had my boy Jordan Walsh. Talking about my brother-in-law now. I mean, you've had some heaters right now, man. You know that have played with you guys. What was that like, man? I mean, that team, man, you put together with Jordan, TRAE Clayton, you know, Lee Dort. You know, you still have Lee Dort. You know, and I know I'm using the wrong term again when I say lose or not with you or anything like that, but that transition right now, what was it like being with that group? What is it like now? How, you know?
Good question. First of all, I've had a lot of really good kids. They were better kids than basketball players.
Okay.
Right. And when I learned so much being around the Texas Titans,
right,
that it just really molded how I would build this team and build this group out. Right?
Okay.
The only kid I can always guarantee to have is my own. That's it. That's my rule. Noah's all I can guarantee to have Noah.
And you better make sure the wife was on board.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's if my wife don't kick me out the house, right?
No doubt.
So that's one I can really guarantee. So I never considered them my kids. They got parents.
Right. Okay.
You know, they did play for me, and I taught them a lot about the game of basketball, on and off the court.
Okay.
Jordan Walsh is a phenomenal talent. You know, he's extremely long, 7'1" wingspan, 6'7", and he's a really, really good kid. You know, he's a really, really good kid with a phenomenal family with Sandra and John. You know, so I'm always going to cheer for Jordan. And that same thing with, you know, TRAE Clayton, where it's on that same team. You know, we've had some really good groups. But when it came down for me making that transition, right, for one, they had to make the best decision for their kid. And I respect that. Okay. They chose to do something different, and I'm okay with that. Because if it was just basketball, I'd be all up in a, you know, whatever. But you got to do what's best for your kid. You're supposed to. And I'm never going to fault a parent for doing what they feel is best. But I'm also going to do what's best for mine. Right?
Always.
You know, so I knew this was coming 3 years ago.
Foresight. It's hard keeping that kind of group together, man.
I knew it. You told me a long time ago.
Yeah.
Right? It's going to be impossible.
Yeah.
You know, there'll be some hurt feelings.
Yeah.
Right? Because you put so much into it, right?
Yeah.
So that's just part of being human.
No doubt.
But when you sit back and think about it, do what's best for you.
Right.
True story.
No doubt.
7th grade going to 8th grade. My 7th grade team was Bryce Griggs, Dariq Whitehead, Mark Mitchell, TRAE White, Keontae George, Noah Shelby, Rylan Griffin, you name it. TRAE Clayton, loaded. Right?
Like the top 15.
Exactly.
Yeah.
On the planet.
Yeah.
Going in the 8th grade, some decisions had to be made.
No doubt.
Okay. the Griggs family was going to go play up.
Yeah.
Bryce was ready for that.
Right.
He was ready for that.
Okay.
He needed a challenge.
Right.
So instead of going 8th grade with me, he went and played 16U with Hardin. I applied.
Yeah.
Great decision.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here's why that's important. When Bryce left, I had to make some decisions, right? Noah, Keontae, Rylan. My first phone call was to Chris, Keontae's mother. And I asked her, what position does Keontae want to play? Point guard or shooting guard? She says, let me talk to him. He said he wants to play shooting guard. He wants to score. Okay. I said, okay, good. I knew Rylan was going to be a wing. So I made the decision to put Noah on the ball in 8th grade. It was the best thing I ever did in basketball because I knew that had to happen soon, right? Because there's not a lot of 6'2" shooting guards out there. At some point, he had to get on the ball and prove he can run a team, play off the pick and roll, make decisions, be a playmaker, and he's still trying to get better at that.
No doubt.
Okay, but I had to make that decision then. But I asked the other parents their opinion on that. One thing that I've done a good job of is actually communicating with them. What do y'all think? What do you want to do? Does this sound right to you? That way there was not hardly ever any disagreements. So I put Noah on the ball for his growth. And he started to blossom. Keontae became Keontae. Rylan became Rylan. And as they say, the rest is history. They're still getting better, but all the kids are. But making the move from Drive Nation to TRAE Young, it wasn't a hard decision. What I mean by that is this. I have no problem with Jermaine O'Neal and Drive Nation at all.
No doubt.
What I wanted to do is I wanted to put Noah in a position to be the lead guard. Okay? The lead guard. Where I wanted him getting all the minutes at that position to where we're going to sink or swim on what he does.
Okay.
He has to be the leader. He has to run everything. It's all on him. Okay? And I wanted to guarantee he get those minutes. If we stay at Drive Nation, I think Noah would have been a starter, right? But there's so many guys there, right?
Yeah.
I'll put them all there.
Yeah.
Okay. At TRAE Young, he got a chance to be the lead guard, get 30 minutes a game, play through mistakes. Okay. We're trying to be ready for college. Okay. I want to make sure that he's ready for college. Okay, high school is not as important as it used to be for us.
No doubt.
Okay, no doubt. So by putting him in that frying pan early was the best decision we could ever made. So when we made the transition, okay, it wasn't about asking everybody what they coming with me. It was, this is what I'm doing, just so you guys understand this is what I'm doing. Right. And I glad I made that decision. He's growing as a player. He's becoming a better leader, because that's what it's all about for us. Him growing as a player. He would grow faster playing 30 minutes than he would playing 18.
Right. Okay. A lot of people that you consulted with through this process. How important do you think that really is for other parents to duplicate that? I mean, talk about some of the best advice that you got from my dude Rob McQuaid, who I think is one of the ultimate. I think I tweeted that out to you one day. How much of an iconic dad, you know what I'm saying? They got a kid that can play is in this. I mean, guys like that. Give me. Let it out, man. Tell me, what were some of the things guys like that kind of gave you that helped you with this process?
Well, you know what? Rob McQuaid, someone I have a lot of respect for. Like I said, he's done this at a high level. He was able to watch his son go to Michigan State.
Yes.
4 years there.
Yes.
And he's going to always shoot you straight.
Yes,
right?
sir.
I would rely on him for information and advice. I learned a lot from Jeff Webster, being honest.
Yes. Go ahead. Okay.
Mostly what I've learned in this business, a lot of it came from watching Jeff. And Jeff made a comment to me years ago about trying to put Noah on the ball as soon as I can, because he wished he would have done that for Justin.
Yeah.
And that always stuck with me.
Yeah.
Right. You know, like I said, you guys have
done.
There's
a media guy that told you the same stuff too, though.
Yeah.
Some media dude used to tell you that.
Yeah. You know, Unite.
Get him on the ball.
Yeah. Get him on the ball. Get him on the ball. Get him on the ball.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, I've reached out to you.
Yeah.
Plenty of times. Stacy, Jeff, Scott Pospickle, you know, Rob McQuaid. I've talked to Buff. I mean, I've talked to a lot of different people. I've talked to head Division I coaches. Right. Someone that I really confide in a lot is Alvin Brooks at Baylor. Woo! And KT, who's now at Oklahoma. I remember, true story, KT, when he was at SMU, he lived 2 blocks from me.
Wow.
So when I was going through my,
that's my dude too.
Yeah, I went to KT's house. We walked 3 miles together, and we just talked about my next transition to Trae Young, you know, and just getting his perspective on that. Right. So, like I said, having relationships really, really matter. Especially when they're genuine, right?
Yeah.
They
real relationships, though.
Yeah.
Yes, real, not where it's one-sided. You know what I'm saying? And I definitely agree with you on that.
Yeah. And a lot of these guys are my friends, so they give me really good candid advice. So I reach out to a lot of different people to get different perspectives. That way I try to make the best decision I can for my kids.
No doubt. You've made some great decisions. With that said, give me some bad decisions that you may have made that you know, when you look back, were there any that you may have made, and if so, let me hear it, man. I want to hear this.
You know, I mean, if you ask my wife, she'll probably have 1,000 of them. You know what? I don't try to have a lot of regrets, honestly.
No doubt.
The things that I've done, I mean, like I said, the book's already been written, right?
No doubt.
I mean, it is what it is. Everything has been a learning experience. You know, I've grown. You know, it's been hard, especially when I started bringing international kids over. That was a different type of experience. That's a whole nother talk show right there.
Yes,
you know, I don't have any regrets, honestly, Paul. I mean, I get a lot of hate out there, right? Remember my tweet, local hate, national love?
National love.
Yeah, remember that?
You know, that was a tweet that I did when Jules was coming up too.
Yeah.
I said almost the same thing.
Yeah.
And awesome, that you put that out like that. I got to give you that.
Well, my thing is this. I mean, I don't care if you don't like me. You know,
I'm a kid.
Don't take it to the kids.
Yeah.
You know, these are young kids trying to be the best they can be. And honestly, I've done nothing to you for you not to like me, but probably win them, right? I just want to make sure in this business that I can do it on my own.
Right.
You know, I don't need your tweet to be successful.
Right.
I don't need your endorsement to be successful. Now, I do need that from the right people. Right.
Exactly.
Keep in mind, those relationships began to form when Noah was 7.
Yeah.
He's now 17.
Yeah.
Right. When I say having foresight, that's what I mean. Yeah. Right. I'm friends with a lot of people that people don't realize. I'm really close friends with a lot of people in this business.
Right.
That are local, that I'm really tight with, but no one knows it.
Yeah.
I mean, no one knows you and I talk.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and I like it being that way as well. But I want everybody to be successful, man. There's everybody.
I always say, you know, and I tell Buff this religiously. This is one of the things me and him had. I always like not letting people know who I know, or who I'm with, or you know, because now you know you'll get a better perspective on who's really down with you. You know what I'm saying? Who really the ones talk behind your back. You know what I'm saying? You know, because believe it or not, I know when me and Buff had like a semi-split, if you will, right? You know, these guys lined up on that side with him, and some guys lined up on my side, you know, talking about him, and you know. But the crazy part was me and him realized, hey, dude, do you see this? And we started trading notes. It was like, oh, okay. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's good that you come from that same school. I think that's an old school kind of flavor, if you will. And definitely, oh, snacks, the Plex. Hold on, dude. Is it Stacey? That's Stacey right there? Business of basketball. That's what we're all about. Also, my man, I want to also put this on right quick. George Clay, all about the fit. He, some of the things that he was saying on here. I was going to have George come on tonight with you as well to kind of talk about, Team TRAE Young. But he's feeling under the weather a little bit today. So with that said, talk to me about this transition. You Oklahoma, man. You left Dallas, bro.
Yeah, I seen your.
I'm just glad you didn't go to Houston, but I'll let that go. I'll let that go.
I seen
Stacey Houston. Hold on, I'm sorry. We got Stacey Houston. What up, man? He said, "What's up, guys?" So that's me. All right, my man Stacey. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I seen your top 20 team rankings came out.
You think I ought to do region?
And I was like, and
you think I ought to do region?
Oh no, you do what you want to do. I mean, you're in Texas.
No, I think that's a good idea. Because I do want to do region. You guys are here. You guys are here. You guys are DFW,
we're in the region,
guys.
We're actually
Steffi. Yeah, Steffi. With Griffin, T. Griffin. I think I'm gonna do. You know what? That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make this region because I like Woods Elite too, Arkansas.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that'll be good.
I'm sorry, man.
The transition really came. People don't realize that. George Clay and I, really a lot of it was George recruited TRAE Young, 8th and 9th grade, the pro skills.
Right.
People don't realize that. George would literally drive to Norman, Oklahoma, pick up an 8th grade TRAE Young, 9th grade TRAE Young, and drive him back to Dallas for practice and then back home.
Right.
Okay. I've been with George we've been friends for over 20 years. George and I is what started the Texas Titans group with Cade and Mike. Right. Okay. That's how far we go back.
Okay? You said George Clay. Yeah.
So once I realized what I knew I was going to make a move, I called Ray and I was like, "Hey, Ray, do y'all want to do a 17U team?" "Oh, Derek, man, I have no time for that, man. I got this, I got that, I got this, I got that." He said, "If I do it, you got to run it." I said, "Let's talk." Right. So George and I get in the car and we drive up to Norman, and we met with Ray, had lunch with Ray, and I was like, "Hey, Ray, I'm looking at making a move from Nike to Adidas, and if you want to do 17s, we're going to play Team TRAE Young." And so we talked about it, had a good talk, and going back and forth. And he was like, "Are you guaranteeing me that Noah and Lee is going to be on the team?" Even TRAE called him and was like, "There's no way Coach Derek is leaving Nike." Right.
Yeah.
And so we're meeting with Ray, and Ray says, after meeting with him for about an hour, he says, "Give me 2 weeks to talk to Adidas, and I'll give y'all a call back." That's how we ended the conversation.
Wow.
Right.
Wow.
So George and I get in the car, we hit 35, heading south, heading back to Dallas. Before we got to the windmills,
wow,
Ray was calling. "Hey, I talked to Adidas. We good." So he went from 2 weeks to about 30 minutes. So that told me that, he was excited.
He's excited.
It was a good opportunity. Still had to get some approvals done. Right.
Yeah. Right.
But it worked out. And, for me, it was like, I have a son that is built like TRAE Young, wearing a TRAE Young uniform,
right,
marketed by TRAE Young, can't pass that up.
No doubt.
If TRAE Young says something about Noah, 6 million people see it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yes.
6 million people see it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But with all that being said, people don't realize that I help manage the TRAE Young Foundation family site.
Right.
That's been going on since he's been in the NBA.
Yeah.
So we've been family for a while.
Yeah.
And it was only returning the favor. He came and gave us an opportunity when he was young.
Yeah.
Going
that
back
connection, he played for Pro Skills for you.
For Pro Skills, sure did. And
we
so
played against y'all.
Yeah,
we played against y'all in Plano.
Yeah. So it's kind of went full circle, right?
You guys were playing up. Yeah. I remember that.
That's why we went to Trae Young, and it's been a phenomenal decision. Because when you're looking at the shoe brands, does it really matter? I mean, no. Right? I mean, I guarantee you these Division I coaches aren't worried about what shoe you wearing.
No. Well, especially now. You know what I'm saying? With the pandemic going on and so forth, it doesn't matter. I mean, now the one that's really losing out on all this that somehow is getting a lot of buzz for some reason is Under Armour, and I don't see why, because they don't have, what Nike or Adidas has, but that's another story in itself. Speaking of not knowing who we're all friends with, Rayford is one of my good friends as well. Yep. We've been friends since TRAE was in the 5th grade, because he had played up, and we all went to San Diego together for the Phenom camp. And we had spent some time together and then built a relationship from back then as well. I always remember when I used to have my podcast back then, when Jules was actually in the 6th grade going to the 7th. So TRAE was going to the 6th grade. So anyway, we had him on the show, and we if they weren't playing the Knicks tonight, we would have had them on the show tonight, right? I talked with Ray earlier today. He wasn't able to make it. He's going to do it another time, because I want to have kind of like a throwback session, here and there with different guys from I've already had Paul Washington on to talk about PJ and so forth a couple of weeks ago. So we're going to kind of do that a little bit on the show as well. But talk with Rayford today, man. Super excited about what you guys have already brought to the table as far as the brand, the Trae Young brand right now. And I know he sounded super geeked about where this is headed. So big shout outs, big kudos to you on that endeavor. I do like that big time. You settled on George Clay being the coach. Talk to me about what went in on the. Well, that's your dude. You know what I'm saying? So that's a no-brainer right there, right?
Trust.
Yeah.
Trust. I mean, me and George, and even though I trust George and we're good friends, I also know he's going to coach the shit out of Noah and coach him hard.
No
right?
doubt. No doubt.
I know that he's not gonna. There's gonna be no favors really given to Noah because of me and him's relationship. He's gonna coach him hard. George is gonna. He knows what he's doing, and I'm content with that. So if George sits Noah's ass on the bench, that's what it is, right?
Love time,
So I understand that, but I know he cares about my kid. And not just mine, but all these kids. George really cares, and he wears his emotions on his sleeve, so when he really cares. And I was content with letting my son's last season be with George Clay because of the trust factor, knowing he will get better and knowing he'll get an opportunity to be the best he can be. Yeah, so George is my guy, and he's been for a long, long time. Long time.
Okay. What's next for you, Derek? I mean, kid going off to school next year.
I mean,
is this going to be?
It goes quick, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, what are you going to do after this, man? What's when Noah's gone to Vandy? Are you still doing this thing, or are you trying to travel?
Well, I have a kid that we take care of in 8th grade named Francis Chukwuemeka.
Woo! Is he with Trae Young too?
No, he's on Pro Skills.
Okay, I thought I saw him with. Okay, go ahead. All right.
Yeah. So Francis is 8th grade. Currently, will be a 9th grader. So once he's done is when I'm officially done. Right.
Yeah. Okay.
But I'm looking forward to this next, I guess, June of 22.
Yeah.
Noah and Lee gonna be in Nashville.
Being
college guys and getting better, and Francis is up next. And after that, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Probably have to start me a podcast and
You
we'll
come
go
on
and
there with
talk.
me. We do this
Yeah,
together. You know. Yeah.
yeah. But you know what? When you think about it, Paul, and this thing started when they were 4, right? You know, it's cost a lot of money, and it's something I never regret. It's cost a lot of time. Shit, it's almost cost marriages, right? But when it's all said and done, we're at a point now to where we kind of see the light at the end of the tunnel. We know he's going to go to college somewhere and play the game he loves to play. He's going to leave there with a phenomenal education, and be able to get a job anywhere he wants in the world. Him and Lee both, So hats off to my wife and her patience with me. Hats off to all the parents that gave me an opportunity to coach their kids. As a matter of fact, we're in the process now of trying to plan a reunion team, right? Where what I'm trying to do now is take some of the kids that played for me, and I'm going to take those, probably about 10 of them, along with their families, and we're going to go to Vegas and play our one last event together.
Wow.
And I'm going to cover all the expenses for them.
Wow.
Put them in a hotel. The boys, they can coach their damn self, Paul.
Okay.
Parents going to be out there kicking it. Let the boys kind of have some fellowship, have fun together, and that'll be our sign on for my kids.
No doubt, no doubt. Awesome. I like that. Wow. We didn't say anything, really about Lee Dort.
Yeah.
You got tight hold on that dude right there, man. Talk to me about what that has been like, your relationship with him, and steering him as well in the right direction.
Yeah, good question.
Big time prospect. I didn't really want to go there because I didn't want to make, number one, the notion of, that's why you had Vanderbilt or anything like that, because I know, and I talked with the people at Vanderbilt, Noah earned his own keep on that end. But, and when you hear people say that, air that out too, by the way, because I know you know to say it. So, and I say that to you because, I love Marquise Bolden. That was my dude. He's like my own kid. You know what I'm saying? But to hear DeSoto wouldn't have won it without him, you know what I'm saying? Kind of got under my skin a little bit. You know what I'm trying to say? Because I know that there were some guys that really, really, really helped make that thing pop, and my son was one of those guys. You know what I'm saying? And so anything. I mean, I put a couple of things in there. I'll layer a couple layers in there for you to go through. Go ahead.
Well, you're going to hear all that, especially when you have big kid that you take care of. All Noah's offers aren't real. He can't commit to any of them. He's only getting them because of Big Lee. All that noise, right? That's what they say on the outside.
Right.
But what they weren't watching was what was going on the inside and the work that was being put in. Noah could go to any of those schools by his damn self, right? And so could Lee, right? Nobody's trying to lose their job over my kid. Believe that.
Agreed.
Okay? So what has happened is Noah averaged 31 a game at Green Hill.
Right.
Okay. Right. Noah on his own merit is a good basketball player.
That's
okay. I think he's the best shot maker in America.
Ooh.
That means everybody's included in America. He's the best shot maker in America. Okay. And so when you can do that, you're going to be just fine. So we heard all the noise, and honestly, it was motivation.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Bulletin board material. Yes, sir.
Motivation. Lee Dort, comes to America, I guess almost 3 years ago. Right. I remember getting the call because I've helped kids from Haiti before. I've gone to Haiti several times for mission and helped kids, feed kids, and all that.
Right.
Not all the kids that have came here have stayed with me. They've been with different families. But this is something that's been on my heart, and I've done it since the earthquake that was in 2010. Okay. And keep in mind, Lee is the only kid that was the same grade as my son. Remember, they got here when Noah was in second grade.
Yes.
Okay.
He's been here that long?
Was that?
Lee has been here that
No,
long?
no. I'm saying
Okay.
Jerry and Snyder.
Yeah,
got
Jerry
here
and
and
Snyder.
Noah
Yeah,
was
I remember that.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Noah, I mean, was a young 7-year-old kid when the first kid showed up here that we helped.
Okay.
So Lee just happened to be the one that was in the same grade as Noah. But
Okay.
you know, Lee's a phenomenal human being. You know,
Okay.
he's extremely intelligent. When he got here, didn't know one word in English, right? And he got through it.
Yeah.
You know, Lee's at Greenhill now with like a 3.3 GPA.
Wow.
And Greenhill is one of the top academic schools in the country.
Oh, yes, sir. Okay? Agreed.
And with very little tutoring.
Yes.
You know,
oh, wow.
When I got the first call about Lee, you know, it's so hard bringing another kid over here, especially into your home. You know, but it was so heavy on my heart. I thought maybe I need to help this kid, right?
Right.
And
right.
when I found out, and I had a lot of questions about him. And one of the biggest things was he has both parents. You know, Lee has a mom and dad in Haiti. Right. And when you have both parents, you're generally a different type of kid.
Right.
You know? So he was well behaved, very respectful, and he has a phenomenal work ethic. Okay. And I've not had one issue with Lee Dort. Not one. I don't have to worry about him doing his homework. I don't have to worry about him being on time. He just does it. Right. He's playing for something bigger. He knows where he came from. Right. You know, so him being able to go to a university like that's a big deal. Remember, that's where Jerry went.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So we have history there.
Yes,
you know, so well, we heard all the noise, Paul. We know some of the guys. I mean, we hear all that. But the package deal thing is a package deal, this and that. You know, there's been days that Lee gonna get something because of Noah. And there's been days that Noah gonna get something because of Lee.
Yeah.
But who cares? They both my kids. They live in the same house. If you had twins, they're gonna be together.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't apologize for it. I mean, it is what it is. They will go together. They will protect one another.
No doubt.
Right?
They're gonna take care of each other. Yeah.
They're gonna hold each other accountable. That's important, right? And they can both stand alone and be great.
Awesome. I like that. Speaking of Jerry, what's my man up to, man?
Oh yeah, Jerry, he'll be here in a couple of weeks. Jerry, amazing story. You know, Jerry speaks like 5 languages.
I remember him, man. That dude was a beast.
Yeah. Jerry was never, honestly, he was never a great basketball player.
Right. You know, super strong.
But he's always been a great human being.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you right now, Jerry is one of the most special kids you will ever meet in your life.
Okay.
This kid here is just, he comes to America, doesn't speak one word in English. You know, we use the basketball to get him to Vanderbilt, thanks to Jeff Webster in the Texas Titans.
Right.
He goes to Vandy. He graduates a year early at Vanderbilt. Right. He gets there his first year. They redshirt him, Kevin Stallings. The next year, Stallings, who had been there, gets fired. You never seen that coming. Stallings been there 17 years.
Yeah.
The new coach comes in, Bryce Drew, different system. He tried to stick it out, but Jerry ended up graduating early, transferred to UMass, gets his master's degree, and now working on his second master's, his MBA right now. Awesome. So we take a kid from the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere, bring him to America. We use basketball to get him a Vanderbilt bachelor's and 2 master's degrees to where it can change his legacy, his life forever. And when it comes down to it, you know, whenever I meet my maker, it's going to be, what did you do for others? Right. And that's one of my most proudest moments is being able to see this kid get not 1, but 2 master's degrees in America when he got here, didn't speak a word English. And say what you want about me, right? I prove what I'm about, right? It wasn't Jerry going to the NBA for me to make money off the Jerry. The Jerry still cost me money, right? I'm still cash apping the money for food, right? But there's something that I'm most proud of because I watched this kid come from nothing and change his life. And not only his life, a legacy. I also, people don't know, I brought his brother here who didn't play basketball.
Yeah, I
Who
remember
just
that.
got married, has a little kid. Another people don't know is that Jerry's mom was extremely sick. We worked like hell to get her a visa to save her life. She was diabetic and didn't even know it, Paul. We get her to America and we save the woman's life. People don't know that part of the story.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
So when you say, was he all in or is it just about basketball? I promise.
Yeah.
God ain't going to bless that. Right?
Yeah.
So Jerry's here. His mom comes here frequently. She's healthy now. His brother's here. We changed a family.
Right. What a
and
story.
That's really important.
What a story. That's
awesome,
dude.
And I got more stories like that.
Yeah, that's definitely a good one right there. Tearjerker, if you will, as well. Man, no regrets.
None.
You're good. You ain't got nothing else you want to air? Anything you want to say as a parting shot?
I
like that look. We'll go ahead.
I mean, I don't know. I just wish that a lot of people have preconceived notions of who I am and what I stand for. And if you really sit down and have a conversation with me, I'm just a normal guy that wants to do what's best for these kids, help them as many as I can, and I'm fine. Right? I got a great family. I'm able to take care of my family. We're helping kids get educations. I feel that I'm extremely blessed, and I want to use my blessings that I've had to bless other people. And
awesome.
Honestly, you can't fake that, right? You can't fake it,
no doubt.
Right.
No doubt.
So when people have their talks about, Shelby this, Shelby that, if I'm in your head, what are you doing? Right. Focus on doing what's best for you. I'm focused on doing what's best for me and my people, my kids and families that have trusted me with their kids. And I'm fine. I mean, basketball is such a short-lived thing. I mean, basketball is not all of me. There's so many other things that I like to do. I mean, that I'm a part of. I mean, I was at in a meeting today. I serve on a childhood cancer board where we raised $1.1 million last year to fight pediatric cancer. I'm on the board for that company. We gave away almost $1 million to clinical trials to help kids that are dealing with cancer. Right? That's Derek. People don't know that. They just know basketball Derek. Right? I'm a technology guy. Right? I love technology. So I do other things besides basketball. It's just a really small part of what I do.
Okay. There he is, y'all. Derek Shelby. We're going to have you on a couple more times if you don't mind.
Oh, sure. Anytime.
Because we definitely want to do the TRAE Young thing with everybody, Ray for TRAE and all that, and you, and kind of talk about the organization a little bit more in depth, right? I wanted to kind of try to go over some of the players and everything and so forth, but since George not able to really be on, we're going to kind of say that, for maybe a few weeks down the road, for when you guys are your next visit here. Actually, the Who Wants to Smoke. Ooh. So we'll end up talking on that. But I wanted to get you on today. I got another guy, as you see on the screen right here.
Let me get the hell up out of here. He coming on.
Yeah, get the fuck up out of here.
Let me get the hell up out of here.
We on TV? Wait a minute. Is this TV? Can I say that?
Yeah.
Get the fuck out the show.
Man.
Derek Shelby, I love you, dude. I appreciate you. Thanks you for always putting up with me. You know what I'm saying? I know I've said some things to you, man, that, I always told you, hey, man, I got to push buttons. I can't be the guy that's agreeing with everybody.
Hey, real quick, let's talk about that for 2 seconds.
Go ahead. Because I know this dude is getting ready to hammer me with this. I know he's interested in this one, but go ahead.
You went at me on Twitter, and you wouldn't mention my name, but I know you're talking about me. You was at me. I mean, I'm like, man, why is Paul on me?
It's special.
But what did I do, Paul? I ran into you at DBU.
Yeah.
Hey, Paul, are we good?
Yeah.
Yes, Derek, we're good. We had a good talk.
Yeah.
See, you were seeing things and hearing things that I wasn't necessarily seeing or hearing.
No doubt.
Your only job was to, hey, Derek, this is what's going on. Pay attention to this, because you've done this before.
Yeah.
So honestly, and ever since we talked, I mean, I confide in you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
All you doing was just giving me some game, some knowledge. Hey, look out for this and this, because I'm not seeing everything.
Yeah.
And we've been great ever since. Like I said, congrats to you, congrats to Jules on getting his college degree.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Sir.
I mean,
Thank you.
we've done the same things.
Yes,
I mean,
sir.
you had T. Ferd, Bold, and and when I seen, honestly, I'm gonna commend you a little bit.
Okay.
When I seen these kids come back home,
right,
and the first stop they make is to come see Paul Miranda, I don't need to see anything else.
Yeah.
When I seen Cam from South Grand Prairie go to Oklahoma State, come home and goes a beeline to CU, and Marquise Golden comes home and makes a beeline to CU. See, that's what it's about. It was bigger than basketball. Always. And I still have those same relationship with the kids that I've coached too. That I'm always going to be there for them no matter what, and they know it.
Same, man. Yep.
So I love that. I need you for that, man.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Again, enough said on all this, man. You've been great. Definitely love the work you put in with these kids, man. The DeJerry story, man. Awesome. Oh my God. Mm-hmm. That we got to get newspapers involved. Channel 5, the news. This shouldn't be just a The Real Talk Nation, moment. You know what I'm saying? This should be bigger, man, because stories like that need to be out there, man, about guys doing things like this. You know what I'm saying? With all the crazy madness that we got going on with these police, shootings and so forth. We need some good stories like this to change the mood of the country a little bit, man, or at least our area right now.
There's a lot of good stories out there. I mean, I'm sure Stacey Houston has some, Jeff Webster has some, Big E has some, Tony Johnson has some. But we get so caught up in trying to win a damn AAU game. we don't get these stories, right?
No doubt.
There's a lot of guys that are just like me that have sacrificed a lot to help these kids. And they need to get their flowers too.
No doubt. Shelby, I appreciate it again, man, for you taking the time to come on, man. Let me deal with old Deion Barrett right now.
Good luck on that.
Yeah. Again, appreciate you, brother. And I'll talk to you another time. Thanks again for coming on, man. You take care, brother.
Thank you. All right, Dan.
See you.
All right, there he is. There he was, man. Derek Shelby of Team TRAE Young. Next, as you see, my dude, Deion Barrett. Another guy.
Screen so blurry and yours not.
Because your lighting. That's your lighting, son.
I'm gonna cut that light off then. Wait a minute.
It's coming directly. It's coming directly behind you.
Directly down into my damn computer. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So scoot over a little bit to it looks like your left. There you go. There you go. That. No. I guess you're right.
It ain't right.
No, I was just saying, trying to get you more centered, in the screen.
That's
you're going the wrong way.
Yeah. All right. Bingo.
Today, man, show kind of highlighting the night is guys like yourself, like Derek Shelby, coach, your kids, as well as other kids. The main question that, I wanted to kind of harp on or hit home with tonight was you've already been through this once with Deion, little Deion. You're going through this with DeAndre, 2024 class.
Mm-hmm.
Two highly, recruitable players, if you will. How, tell me the process, man, from the beginning to end right now, how you've had to overcome so much to have let me say, how did you balance it? How did you balance it all out, man? Coaching your kid as well as coaching everybody else's kid, because especially when you don't want that label. Everybody always throws on the daddy that, you daddy balling and stuff. Man, give me how you got past through all that, because, don't get me wrong. We heard it in the beginning when I first met you, but when you started doing this with you, man, it started seeing you, you do the things, I didn't think you was a daddy ball coach at all on that, but give me your take on how you balanced all that out.
Well, I think me having a son years back, going through it with Dion kind of helped me a lot. You know, you even with him, I mean, you just have to treat kids fairly, treat parents fairly, communicate. You know what I'm saying, and coach all the players. You know, coach them all.
Okay.
So essentially, you treat them all like they sons. You know, on the floor.
Right.
You want them all to succeed and learn the game. You know, just as much as you would want your own son to do that, if you're doing it the right way as a dad coach.
Okay.
You know, being conscious of all the stereotypes that come with being a dad coach.
Right.
And, you know, you have to be humble about it. You know, you're going to get flack. You know, you're going to get backlash. You know, you're going to get praise as well. And, you know, you're going to get, you know, all your positive stuff that comes along with it if you're doing the right thing and doing it the right way. So I've always tried to pride myself on doing that the right way if I was a dad coach. And, you know, I was always in it for the right reasons. You know, have a son that can play. Came in the game not really knowing anybody, so I just built a little team. Think it was Dallas Magic or something. We started in the YMCA, you know, Boys and Girls Club. Excuse me. Girls Club, YMCA. I would take Dion to play his Boys and Girls Club team. He was probably in second or third grade, playing up 2 grades, and then we would rush over to the YMCA up the road and play on both teams. So eventually, I grew a love for coaching kids. Just in general, kids, not elite or nothing like that. And that turned into me coaching or forming a team with YMCA players. Right. So this had to be when Dion was 6. He was 6. So it was Mesquite Boys and Girls Club, matter of fact. I coached there for about 3 years. You know, went from little kids to high school to whatever. A lot of those kids ended up on the AAU scene as well, years down the road. I don't know if you remember Trey Scott. You remember him? Played with the Mustangs?
Yes, Mustangs.
He was a Boys and Girls Club kid back from 6 years old, man.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it started like that, just being a volunteer coach, just wanting to get in it and help some kids. I thought I could do it. Tried it out. You know, I liked it. And then we took it from Boys and Girls Club to so-called AAU. Didn't know what we was doing. You know, had a lady make us some uniforms. Looked like somebody cut some cloth and stitched it together. Okay. And we were Magic. We were the Dallas Magic. Wore the Orlando Magic colors. You know, and that's how it all began. However, that was short lived though, because you know I would say within that first summer, the Titans saw Dion. Top Achievers first. We went to Top Achievers so that we could play against the Titans, so they could take a look at it. They saw him. Jeff Webster called me back and said, "Hey man, they're gonna call you, boy. They like him." So my Magic situation kind of blew up in smoke, even though I didn't expect anything. It was just Boys and Girls Club at the time. They took Dion on the team, and he played it summer with the Titans. Then, you know, I met Portly with the Titans. And Portly formed the Wildcats Elite, you know, right after that scenario in 3rd grade. 4th grade, it was Wildcats Elite because I pulled away from the Titans. I didn't like the political side of it. I wasn't used to that. So we did Wildcats Elite. Portly coached. I just kind of understudied them, you know, learned the game of how to coach for real. That's when I became more interested.
Let me interject right quick. You said politics with the Titans. Give me some examples. How, you know.
Well, I would hate to go too far into it, but
just something small. I mean, you know, give me
small pieces of, you know, money kids playing over better kids. You know, trying to take care of certain kids who are maybe the best friend of the sponsor kid or or whatever.
Not necessarily the best player though.
All those little things.
You know, and I asked you, and Dion, I asked you that not to stir up mess or anything. You know, I want to make sure that the masses of people out here that's watching the show, you know, this is a show that's trying to you know, point out the rights and the wrongs of what we're doing in this game. You know what I'm saying? You know, it might be some other, you know, group that's coming up just like the Titans that might want to better themselves and how they're doing their product, putting their product. So, you know, even though it sounds bad, you know what I'm saying, it's still something that I think we should all not be afraid to talk about. You know what I'm saying? Because the bad helps us become better.
So long ago.
Yep, and exactly that. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
The treatment of the kids, like you would have a 10-man roster. This is my first experience seeing all this stuff. So it's a 10-man roster, supposed to be an elite. They travel the country, of course. We were on the younger team. Julius Randle and Matt Jones and those guys were on the 5th grade. We were 3rd grade. Okay. So this was at that time. Julius was a 5th grader. So, just the way the kids were handled, man. I mean, you got your 7th, 8th, and 9th, and 10th man who might not even touch the court, in games. So I just started seeing the effects of how kids reacted to that, the hurt, the pain, especially at those early ages, 3rd graders.
Okay.
So my kid was one of the better players, even though he was the smallest, player. And I guess, I could say that was proven by performance,
No doubt.
You got a 3rd grader to score 23 points in the first half of a game, at AAU Nationals.
Phenomenal. Yes. So Dion was definitely a phenomenal kid.
And don't play the rest of the tournament until the finals when they're losing. They want to stick them back in real quick, try to win a game, that kind of stuff. Okay. The mind games with little kids, whatever. Right. Like I said, that was a long time ago. I vaguely remember it, but I remember being outside having them talks with the coach of that team. We know what that is, and what nice talks, what nice conversations all the time. But there was a couple of those because I was misled one way. I felt, at the time or whatever,
So the communication gap was an issue as well. But I always said this, we've got to have more honesty, from organizations to coaches down to parents, down to kids. And when there's hidden agendas and stuff like that gets out, it kind of hurts progress. Right. And that's why, I've always been one, and as you said earlier, I'm going to get in some people's tail if I see something, because, my whole goal is not to start an argument or debate or a fight, with you or to piss you off where you don't want to talk to me. And my goal always was, because I'm a John Lucas disciple, if you will. And John always said, and if you got friends that are telling you everything that you want to hear, that they don't want to tell you anything that you're doing wrong, you need to get rid of them because they ain't your friend. For instance, I used to be a player back in the day. Did I ever tell you that, man? Rico Suave. Did I ever tell you? I was a ladies' man, Dion. You know what I'm saying? And I always wanted to make sure that I was on point. You know what I'm saying? And I would always tell my best friend, and this is how you can tell. I learned about the hate at an early age, but anyway, this is how you can tell. If your boy is your boy or not. Hey man, my breast ain't. Do I need a minute or anything like that? And you don't offer me one, but I go up to the girl and she kind of turned away from me because of my breath. Now we got a problem, bro. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, it's the same issue. You know what I'm saying? I want to know. You know what I'm saying? If I got something that's going wrong with me, you know what I'm saying, that I need to do. And I've always said that, even back to the infamous Texas round ball days. I don't know if you remember those days. And, I would be in jokers' tails, about what they doing and what they ain't doing. And guys would come right back at me about what I'm doing and what I ain't doing. And that's okay because, if there's something that I'm doing that they don't like, then let's talk it out. You know what I'm saying? And vice versa with me. That was my way of saying, hey, this needs to get corrected. Not that I'm trying to go at, and sometimes it's hard to get that point across because everybody got to be hard. You trying to pump me. You know what I'm saying? You trying to chump me. And that's not it at all. Speaking of which, you and I have had some major, back and forths, if you will. Hindsight 2020. You think I would change any of that?
I hope you would, man, because it got pretty rough at times.
No, I wouldn't.
I hope you change half of that.
I mean,
your Your delivery was horrible.
Hey, and no doubt, I give you that. I will give you that.
You started from the bottom. You nothing like what you used to be.
Yeah, and that's one of my ways of saying thank you, Dion, because you helped me with that. You know what I'm saying?
I let you practice on me early on.
Hold on, Pete Ely, you still there? Pete said, "Tell Dion to get right." Let's see if Pete's still here. Pete, you still here with me? What you say? Because Pete know what I'm talking about on here right now, man. We used to go at it. Now, these new school kind of dudes right now, man. I had an issue with this one group this weekend, man. Yeah, hey, Pete still here. Pete know what I'm talking about. Well, let me go before I go to my new school, right? Dion, hey man, you gotta say Soto Heat One Nation, man. They kind of helped you get your game straight, though. I remember when you was back in the day wearing juju beads, man.
Oh man, you don't bring that up today, man. Come on, man.
Pete, am I lying, Pete?
Round ball for wearing those. That's how I knew you couldn't have been no homeboy because you wouldn't have blasted.
But here it is, though, dog. You remember that little story I just gave you about the breath? Mm-hmm. That was my way of telling you, hey man, you are a fucking good coach. Mm-hmm. And I will always say that about Dion Barrett. See, mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But that some stuff you had to work out. You had to get out your.
I mean, if that's the case, I could say, hey man, your little Jerry curl, you know, that you was spray modeling spritz on in the gym.
I didn't spray nothing, bro.
I mean, you know, my opinion was I didn't like that. I thought you should have straightened it out and dried it out and kept it.
But you was a coach, man. Hold on, bro. You was a coach, man, coaching kids, bro.
That was all opinionated, man.
I was
like the juju beads. I like the juju beads.
Hey man,
so I had every right to wear those.
So when you took them juju beads down and went to that college cut, or did you go to some braids? I think you went to braids.
I was in braids with the juju beads.
No, you took the juju beads out when I said that.
Yeah, I did because you embarrassed the hell out of me.
And your shit started booming too, though. You started getting it right. That's when you started getting the Johnnies and the little Walkers.
So it's okay for NBA players and college players and anybody else can wear braids, but I couldn't wear braids as an AAU coach.
I told you back then. I think you need to look the part of being a coach. You know what I'm saying? You are everything a coach is except for the look. And if you want to attract the big ones as you grow into this, and I told you back then, mm-hmm. You got to look the part different. You got to do a different look, man. But being on the block doing the shoot.
But you don't dictate to me.
Get you no players, bro.
You don't dictate to me. I wear what I want.
I didn't say I dictated. Back then I was trying to help you.
I wear what I want to wear. I'm who I am.
You're right. You're right.
I want to wear. I wear my hair how I want it. I cut it how I want it.
You're right.
You're right. Dictate to me. That was me. No problem.
Hey, but you listen and you say, you know what? That little yellow monk, he's probably right. Let me do this. And
you were probably right, but
yeah, and you did that.
I didn't want to hear
that. I said, man, and I told him, I told everybody in the community, I said, okay, now we making a coach right here, dog. Ask everybody in the hood, the sons, all of them, dude. They was like, man, you crazy. That dude ain't gonna challenge him, man. He won't this, bro. I knew it. I'm a push button kind of dude, Dion. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And no doubt. And some people like it. Some people can deal with it. I always say this. I'm just real fortunate, and I'll tell you this now that you're on the show, that you have been one to really look inside the glass instead of trying to look through it. You know what I'm saying? And you took the time to do that. And trust me, there's always going to be a method to my madness. Right. And what I'm trying to do, because at the end of the day, I think it takes a real one, honestly, to do what you're doing as far as investing the time to get these kids to play this game, to help them get scholarships. Derek Shelby was talking about the guys that come to my house to this day. Those guys do the same with you. You know what I'm saying? And those same guys you've played a part in helping. Guys like me, help those kids get where they were at. We're all part of this. I always say this, and I didn't make this up. It takes a village. What is it? It takes a village to raise one child, and I think guys like, oh, my dude, hey, Eric Chill is on with us, man.
What's the emojis for?
Yeah,
he laughing at what we do.
He was laughing about the juju bees, bro.
Oh man, come on, man.
Yeah. And then my boy Pete,
bringing them damn juju breeze up, man.
Pete Ely was talking about
was banned every week. He right
on TRB. Yeah, TRB used to ban me. It was I don't know if you guys know about TRB. That TRB used to be a website that was a message board, if you will, and we would always be on there typing left and right.
It was a slander board.
It wasn't no slander board.
That was a slander board.
It was a help get right board.
You had about 5 names on there.
I had to because he kept banning me. He kept banning me off. I had to go different names. Now, I wasn't like the other guys that had like 4 or 5 different screen names typing to themselves, talking about, oh, yeah, you good, homeboy, you did, let me say Robert. No, just say any name, right? Yeah, Robert, that was good. That's good thought, man. I agree with you. And then go get another screen name come on. And then, I didn't do all that, Hey, man, I said what it was and what it is, and we moved on from it from there. But those were some good days, man. And like I said, I definitely, what I am today, and I'm not a big time dude or anything right now, or never will be. I'm just a dude trying to help some kids just like you. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, we trying to help kids. And but a lot of this stuff that I do right now on Twitter, honestly, you, JD, James Durham, even TRB, help me say things, in a better way today. You know what I'm saying? Now, some of these guys today, I was having a Twitter beef the other day. Imagine me having a Twitter beef, right? And had one in a while, but a lot of people hear what they want to hear out of something, and they take it the wrong way. And it's just crazy how these people are acting these days. Just the other day, we I don't know if you heard this or not, Dion, but a parent shot a coach in the head. I mean, it grazed him. It didn't kill him. You didn't hear about that, okay?
When did this happen?
Just this weekend.
Where?
Yeah, man, I don't remember where it was at, but I need to pull that up. I'm gonna try to pull it up in just a minute when you're talking. But yeah, over playing time.
Hey.
Over playing time, Dion.
That is crazy. I hadn't heard nothing. That's that crazy.
Yeah.
My whole coaching career.
What do you think about that, man? Have you ever got into a heated argument with a parent where you think something like that could have escalated into?
No. I don't think anything I've ever experienced could have ever escalated that serious, man. I mean, I try to nip stuff in the bud when I even think a parent is thinking in a negative way. If I even see dirty looks or anything, I'm gonna call that parent and have a conversation in private and ask them if they're okay, or if it's something they want to talk about or whatever. Because I don't want no kind of issues, especially not in public, and around kids and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So I like to communicate with parents and make sure, because if they got a problem, go ahead and tell me now while we on the phone or we away from any kids, so I can address it. And if we can't come to a head, then you need to go on and find you another team, because I'm not finna. Yeah, I'm gonna nip that in the bud.
We've had plenty of experience to know. I'll never forget. We were in Houston, and that day Sharon Banks. She wanted to do something to you that day.
Hey, man,
she was slamming that pen. She was slamming that pen on that score sheet
at a game, dude. In the lobby at Sharon Sharon do not play.
I mean, she was great. But she kept that kid with you. You know what I'm saying? So that really is a testament.
She took that kid every damn month, pulled him out of there.
Yeah, but she played. You played. They played well after I left. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a good family though, right there.
Yeah, no doubt. And shout out to the Banks, Sharon and Bill. Right. Bill for Harrison, Henderson, Banks. Wisconsin, Milwaukee, I think it was. That's where he's at now, right?
Something like that, I think.
All right, so
but back
talk
to the
me,
dad
man.
coach, the dad coaching thing.
Yeah,
you were on a team with me before,
right?
Way
Yes, sir.
back in the day. I came and got your boy. Think
Yes,
we said I met you. I seen y'all at DeSoto Red. I saw him sitting or something. I didn't like his what's the word I'm looking for? His it seems like his confidence was a little shot. So I said, Paul, you know what, man? Why don't you bring him over here? Let me coach him. You remember that? And you said, Dion, are you sure? You know, you got this kid, that kid, that kid. I said, man, yeah, I think he could play on this team. It don't matter who I got, Paul. You should bring him. We talked about it. You brought him, and he played with my son. Probably the only couple of months you didn't hate me, you know, back then. Or
I never hated you. I never hated you, man.
That was probably the only 2 months of those two guys' careers, Jules Miranda and Deion Barrett Jr. That was the only 2 months or 3 months
would have been
in
really exciting.
my head the whole damn time.
Yeah.
And
that was over other players. You know, we were talking about other players. It had nothing to do with your son and my son.
So with that being said, what I was getting at was you were there. You watched me coach your kid firsthand. You was there.
Yeah.
You could not leave there and say, man, he's a daddy ball coach.
No, I never said that.
Yeah, so I would tell you, I could tell you honestly, sitting here today, coaching Dion from what, 4th grade to 8th grade before I start sending them off and letting them play elsewhere. And all the other kids I've had, even with Man, I don't think anybody can say I'm just he's a daddy ball coach. I haven't heard that. I have never realistically been titled that.
No, and you never really had that rep that I heard of anything. I'm just saying.
Games, I don't build everything around my son. I go get better players or kids just as good or better at every position. You know, why do I do that? I do that because I want to win. I want to compete. I don't just want to have a team and go out there and my son's shooting 20 balls. I mean, he gonna play his role just like the next guy gonna play their role, and we're gonna win as a team and play as a team.
Okay. Now let's transition a little bit forward to where we're at now. DeAndre Barrett, one of the top 2024 guards in the country. What has that transition been like compared to Dion, where Man is right now? Dion was definitely on the map with Gasso, you know what I'm saying, as far as highly ranked.
In Texas.
I mean, Texas Hoops.
State,
Texas Hoops. And I don't mean to say Gasso, but Texas Hoop.
Right.
And where is DeAndre at right now?
I think that's a good question. I believe that if you go back 2015, 2016 with Dion now, that class of 2016, it was different, you know. Dion being 5'9", it's like yo boy, 5'8", 5'9", 5'10", whatever. Those little guys wasn't getting no recognition back then, you know, not national recognition. If you're not 6 foot or better, 6'1", 6'2", you're not gonna get no national recognition. You know,
has that changed any to you?
I think so, because I think in 24 in particular, you would, based on what I know today. Now, I don't know what's going to happen 3 years from now, but based on what I know today, if I go by coaching all over the world and playing against the best teams and the best players, I would say for sure it's different, because now you have kids in Texas that can go play and compete with the best of the best. On the West Coast or East Coast or wherever. They're good enough. There's players here in Dallas alone and Houston that are good enough to compete nationally. They're just plain and simple. My son being one of them, but it's so many more than just him. So many more. And a lot of the kids y'all talk about a lot, these kids can compete nationally. You can put them in an arena with the top 100 players. They're going to compete.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think for the most part, up until this point, that's been looked at or identified. You know, people have seen that. You know, whether we're at John Lucas, where everybody comes together and plays, whether we fly to Vegas or wherever it is. You're going to see the Vegas Elite. We went to Portland. You have so much stuff in middle school where you get to see all the best of the best players. Now that we're in high school, it's been a little less of that traveling stuff. COVID hit, kind of slowed everything down. And then you got to deal with a different crew of media now that we're in high school. So you got you guys that are the high school level media people. Y'all don't really know the 24 class like that. Y'all don't know what's national. Y'all don't know that these kids here are damn near pretty much just as good as a lot of the national kids. They're just as good. You know, y'all have no clue of that though, because y'all have not seen that. Y'all haven't saw those battles. Y'all haven't saw those head-to-head matchups to be able to determine if a kid is good enough nationally or not. Y'all just haven't. You know, it hasn't been enough time really to be able to, you know, see those things. I'm not sure that y'all are going to do your homework enough. Most of y'all won't do enough homework to really know the truth about that. It'll be just an opinionated scenario. You guys will form an opinion based on what you see here, and that's what you'll go off of.
Fair enough.
In terms of national attention, we talked about that.
I got you. I follow you. Anything I asked Shelby earlier, looking at Dion versus DeAndre.
Right.
Is there any regret that you may have had with, because you get to do it over, you know what I'm saying, in DeAndre? Was there any regrets or anything that you wish you have changed with Dion that you kind of did with DeAndre? And if you have, give me what that was like. Give me some info on that.
So yeah, the answer to that is there's a lot of stuff I do differently now than what I did the first go round. I think with Dion, it was like I was a drill sergeant, you know. My way of the highway, you know, this is how I want you to play. You either do it or else, you know, all that kind of stuff. Not so much now with man, DeAndre, you know. I try to coach them. I try to communicate a lot better. It's a lot more calm communications. It's almost like you're a coach in the gym, and then you also a coach at home, the way I talk to him, you know. And, you know, I'm going to pull out more film and stuff like that so he can see himself versus how I did it with Dion, you know.
I like that.
So, because, you know, film don't lie. So kids can sit down and you see yourself, hey, you was terrible this game. Here it is. You don't believe me? Look at this play. Look at that play. You know, what are you doing? You know, it's all there. So definitely a big difference, you know, from that time frame to now with the two different kids. And you know, I think Dion had it a lot harder, you know, back then. Now you got so much media and all that stuff. It was a lot less back then, you know, so a lot harder to be recognized or be seen or identified, you know, as any type of a top player or any of that nature. Pretty much had Texas hoops. That was it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that. Is there anything that you would like to change in Man that he's doing right now? And if so, what would that be?
It's a lot. I mean, there's a lot to change in Man. I mean, his attitude, you know, just everyday attitude about the game, his perspective on the game. We're working. He's a work in progress on a lot of stuff.
No doubt.
You know, just how to work ethic and things like that. You know, mentality on the court. You know, I mean, even mentality in school. I mean, it's a lot about him, man. He's different. He's a different type of kid, you know, versus Dion. You can tell Dion something one time, he got it. You know, he on top of it. This one you got to tell 2 or 3 times. So it's definitely a difference, you know, in the two. Tell Dion he got to go make 500. Get on that gun when you get up there and make 500. I'm gonna drop you off. Tell this one he got to make 500 and get on the gun. He liable to go in there like he did today and shoot 100 and say, "Yeah, I got shots up." You know, so you gotta monitor more. You gotta really pay attention.
Yeah,
you know,
different mindset, different drive.
Right,
and you know, to that. I will say that I'm kind of experiencing the same thing with my youngest right now, Zay, with different work ethics, man. They're two different people. They're night and day. You know what I'm saying? Jules, I could tell him anything and he would go do it. Run through a wall, jump off a cliff if I asked him. Zay gonna always question why. Why I gotta do that. You know what I'm saying?
That's I got that. Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And
Same
how
thing.
so and again, this goes again, y'all, to not just being my situation. There might be a lot of you parents out there that are having the same issue.
Deal with it.
You know what I'm saying? That we try to talk this out and let you know you're not alone.
Right.
In this, as much as we claim to know things about this game and everything about this game,
right?
It's hard sometimes getting your own to understand that right now. You know what I'm saying? Right. I got college coaches calling me, and he'll be riding with me, and he's like, "What are they calling you for?"
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what the hell you mean? What they calling me for? You hear what they're asking? And what are you talking about?
Right.
He's like, man, you don't know. And that's the kind of conversation he has with me. You know what I'm saying? And he just doesn't understand it. Whereas George, you just wouldn't have that. And I don't know. I thought I might ask on that. You guys are pro skills right now. You guys are playing where this weekend?
Man, we're playing in some tournament. I just got the schedule. I ain't see a location on there, but let me see if I got it. We are playing. Let's see. Where is that? I want to say it's going to be.
Are you in the circuit?
Yeah, it's some kind of Texas tip-off.
You're not in the circuit?
What's the circuit?
That's the hottest tournament this weekend. The circuit in the Gasso.
It's the Gasso?
At Drive Nation. No, the circuit.
That's probably what it is, because it's called the Texas tip-off.
No, it's called the circuit.
It's the circuit, yeah. I'm looking at it. Yeah, it's the circuit.
Okay.
Yeah, we're in that.
Hey, man, I and I almost forgot. I do want to talk about your time with Team Texas.
Okay.
Wes Grandstaff. Shout out to Wes if he's listening. Definitely an icon, a DFW Texas icon when it concerns his grassroots thing. I don't want him to ever get shortchanged out of that, despite the many battles that he and I have had. Always have had tremendous respect for him, for what he's brought to the city. And, talk to me about your relationship a little bit with that and how that helped, your oldest boy. Give us insights on that, man. Because Team Texas was the shit.
Yeah.
The bomb, man.
No, it was the platform back then. It was the arguably the top platform out here. Or in the state. It was, Wes was a good friend of mine, mentor, taught me a lot about the game, and how a lot of this stuff works. I learned a lot from him. How to recruit, how to deal with players. I mean, I learned quite a bit from Wes. That was a really good guy, still is. Shout out to Wes, and Team Texas was great, man. I mean, we had a lot of fun traveling and playing with some of the best players. I met them over when we were playing with the Texas Titans. So that's how me and Wes met, so I had a good relationship with him going forward outside of the Titans. When we left the Titans, then eventually I merged back with them. I think it was 6th grade, and then we hit it off well and, been friends ever since.
Right. How much did that really help Deion's recruitment going into
recruitment?
I mean,
recruitment, not at all, because we didn't stay long enough for that. I mean, we were Deion pretty much. We got to, I want to say 8th grade, and then people start picking the team apart. You know how it goes. Once you hit 9th grade, you have Marquise and all them. You know the story. Everybody starts coming after your kids, and now guys spreading out and scattering. So it was like shoot, we was one of the most sought after groups with some of the better freshmen at that time.
No doubt.
So, you know, I
remember your 7th grade year. The 7th grade, you guys went down to nationals and really made some noise. By the way, y'all, Dion is one of the very few coaches is actually, what was it, top 4 finish here in the DFW?
It was number 6, I believe. Should have been 4. We lost the 4th place game or 5th place game or something like that.
And for a while, no one had gone that far. You know,
I did it twice.
I'm just going to say that. You know, and he did it twice. So, you know, I don't want to get you shortchanged on that, by the way.
Well, the kids did it twice. The players did it twice.
Well, you know, you let them there. So, and now that comment right there would have never came about had not you not got your TRB lessons. I want to make sure you understand that. Your Texas roundball lessons. You know, you would have never made that comment. I guarantee you that. Shit, that sounds like a.
Hey, you remember that time I was so mad at you for talking about me on TRB to where I hunted you down at Seagoville High School?
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
You remember I was standing at that door waiting on you to come up here? I wanted some smoke that day. I wanted some smoke.
You want that smoke, huh?
I wanted some smoke that day. I said, man, where that son of a, you know what, practice. He at Seagoville tonight at 7 o'clock. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna open the door. Oh yeah, I'm gonna be there. I'll open that door.
Oh my God.
So this is what we doing now, Paul. We gonna talk that mess on round ball. What's up with that, man? Man, you tell me. You gonna walk on off, act like you ain't said nothing.
I said, I'm push. I've always been a button pusher, bro.
Man, you push buttons. You don't know how. You don't know what them buttons be feeling like to some people, man.
No doubt.
Some guys on the wrong day, man, they might have had their car repoed or something, man, and you pushing buttons.
Like I said, you know, thankful for guys like yourself, man. Seriously, you know, for those days. You know what I'm saying? And you know, and that's the difference between guys today and guys of back in the day. You know what I'm saying? You know. You know what? I'm gonna say something. You know, I had a fight with a guy, a real bad fight with a guy. You know, there's an old school dude just like I am, and not many people talk with this dude. This dude had everything here in Dallas. I'm not gonna bring his name up. We had a serious fight. I mean, real bad fight in 2016, and you know, we talk. I'm one of the only guys he still talks with here in Dallas, and we were talking to him one night. And he was like, you know, that's the difference between today and back in the day. You know, jokers back in the day, you know, we're going to fight. I might get my ass kicked. You might get your ass kicked. But we're going to settle it right then and there. And then we're done with it. You know what I'm saying? We're going to hold these ill feelings. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I appreciate about guys like you to understand. I know you're not an old school dude. You know, you're a lot younger than I am. And but you know, that's how we are, man. I mean, you're on the school bus, and you know, away from, you know, coming home from a game. You know what I mean? Not coming home from the game, but leaving the game to go home. You know, go to the school, get back on on the bus. What we doing in the back? What everybody doing in the back, Dion? Back there, high side, scoring on what?
Right.
Let me not say scoring.
Right.
We scoring on people back there. You know, big medicine box head. You know, it developed tough skin. You know what I'm saying? And speaking of which, yes.
For all them years of that round ball, I would have to have some really tough skin to have survived that.
You did.
That was rough.
I agree on that. I agree. I
had to learn that, man. You made me have to really learn to have thick skin. I would say that. I can attribute that to the round ball stuff and everything. Because boy, the stuff that was said on that website, I was so pissed off so many days. Yeah. So many days.
But it just wasn't me doing that though, Dion. You know, not towards you.
And strangle you some days. I wasn't red till you turn red someday.
Yeah, there you go.
I wish I could find you. That's how bad I was. Look at the stuff you was right.
We had some good days, bro. Man, and I, I'll never forget it though, man. We used to have so much fun with you,
Hey,
bro.
then
On
them
that,
boys grew up,
we've been
they
look
started
at
playing
he
in
is
high
hot.
school and all that.
Yeah.
And we just laugh about it, man. Boy, you remember you said this and said that, man, and we just laugh about
cracking
stuff.
up over. I was with some guys, matter of fact, some of the Suns guys a couple of weeks ago, and we were just laughing about some of that stuff that we talked about with Texas Roundball. John Hall to this day, still talks about some of that stuff, man, with us, man. We don't have any of that. And I think that's why today's day right now, why you having these shootouts and, these parents going crazy. You had a shootout at Duncanville Fieldhouse. Was that last year or the year before?
A couple years ago.
What I'm saying? And because everybody's too much into their feelings these days. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I guess now in school you can't score on each other. You can't belittle people anymore. You know what I'm saying? And now that's why a lot of this stuff is happening right now. I'm attributing that to that. So, but thankful, honestly thankful that guys like you, just looked at it in a more positive light and kept you cool and so forth. And I definitely want to thank you for that, because you kind of, I call myself helping you become a better coach. You helped me become a better person in this media outlet or platform that I have. You know what I'm saying? Because now I'm not so mean. You know what I'm trying to say? Whereas, prior to what I am now, what I'm doing now, I was pretty mean, as you said earlier. I don't think I was that mean to you, but
yeah, man, you was out of control.
You say so.
Yeah, you was out of control. I'm trying to fix my screen here. Hang on.
But I want to say this, man. Dion, two-time state championship winner at Lancaster High School, the son, y'all. And what you do, man? You put another screen on?
I'm trying to fix it. You can still see me?
Yeah, you're in the green room right now. X that one out, bro.
All right, I'm trying to fix it, man. My screen's changed.
Oh, you need to X that one out because you echoing. Oh, he X'd out the wrong one. All right, hold on.
All right, bet.
All right.
That thing was tripping. My screen went white on me over here. I couldn't see you no more.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know I was still in, but all right, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, you was good. You still showing up good. All right, so man, we at the end of the line, bro. 10:04. 10:04. Parting shots, bro. What you got to say? You got something you want to air out your chest?
Not really. I mean,
the game right now, what it is. What do you like to see change in this game right now? Is there anything that you would say?
It's a lot
in the media. I know you said the media piece. You'd like the media to do a little bit more research as far as national rankings.
I wouldn't say I would like them to do research for national. I don't think so. I mean, I just think it's a lot of media people. I mean, who should
think that helps though,
should be listened to? We'll have 15 media people in a minute.
Well, I'm gonna say this, man, because I kind of feel like, that's kind of my baby. You know what I'm saying? I always said that we needed more. You know what I'm saying? The problem is, some of the guys that we're getting are trying to be everybody's friend in this business. Everybody, especially with the parents, chummy with the parents,
and talking about who they're attached to and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Instead of just being a media guy and talking about everybody that's good enough to be talked about.
Right. And so my whole goal and a lot of what I'm doing today, I definitely wanted to make sure that people knew that anybody could do this if you wanted to. You know what I'm saying? But if you're going to do it the right way. You know what I'm saying? Let's be consistent. Let's be persistent. You know what I'm saying? Let's not be yes men. Let's be accurate and let's be diligent. You know what I'm saying? And
the same damn players all the time.
Yeah, and that's
so many hidden gems out here.
Yeah.
So many hidden gems. I mean, you could go to a high school game to watch, the top player in the state, But I guarantee you, if his team's winning, there's another player or two that are probably worthy of some attention.
On that team. Yeah, yeah. I always thought that, by the more people we got in this game, the better off it would help out the 3 stars and the lower 4s, the lower 2s.
It really doesn't, man.
But it ended up being, you're right. It ended up being going up to see the 5 stars. Agreed. Agreed. And it's gotten to the point now that where I'm getting ready to, I was telling Buff this the other day, I'm getting ready to stop looking at all the good games, the top games, just so I can get in the gym more to see, the other games. You know what I'm saying? The other kids, because I pride myself on finding the gems. I can't do nothing for Keontae George. I can't do nothing for
big factor.
I can't do anything
established. It don't matter what you write. It don't matter what you write about some guys.
Yeah, yeah. And even in your class right now, it's getting to the point to where Liam, TRAE Johnson, those kind of guys are, at their, they're there now. Now I got to go, not only,
push more players,
push other guys' names out there now. So
many more players other than those 2 names. Many more.
Yeah. Agreed.
There's some talent in the class.
No doubt. I agree.
So
I don't know if it's like that 22 class.
And 22 classes. Everybody ain't 6'8", 6'7", 6'5".
No doubt.
That's another issue with y'all media people.
Not with me. I'm a short dude kind of lover, bro. So and I'm a little more biased towards that. Everybody knows because I'm a point guardologist.
What the hell is that? Is that a media person that specializes in the point guards?
No, you only have to be a media person. You could be a point guardologist.
Oh God!
You know what I'm saying? You just got to know what a point guard is and what he really supposed to do.
Or a shooting guard. Or a shooting guard.
I don't care about the shooting guard. I'm looking for I'm a point guardologist. I'm a point guardologist. I'm not talking about shooting guard. I'm not talking about small forward. I'm not talking about. That's my specialty as a point guard.
Gotcha.
Now I can talk about those others, and I do. You know what I'm saying? But you want to talk point guard? Come holler at your boy. I got what you need. We make just how you like. So anyway, so no parting shot. Faith family, DeAndre, going to be a sophomore next year.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What are the expectations right now for you guys for that? As you as a dad.
I don't really have expectations for next year. I have to get him better this summer.
Okay.
So the focus is right now, staying in the lab, improving his game, getting his body, better and more explosive and things like that of that nature.
Okay, that's what we're working on.
That's what we're working on.
I like that.
Next year for high school, I don't know. When he gets there, hopefully he's a lot better than what he was this year.
I like that answer. Okay. Dion, I definitely want to thank you for coming on tonight. Definitely a pleasure chopping it up with you, man.
Absolutely.
Like this to be not the even though this is the first time, I don't want this to be the last. So many bones in that treasure chest that we have between the two of us right now.
Yeah. We could have talked the whole 2 hours.
Yeah, we could have. Yes, we could have. So, and I kind of want to say some stuff for the next time.
Gotcha.
The Juju bees had to get out tonight.
Man, don't bring that up no more, man.
Next time we're going to talk.
You keep bringing that up, I'm going to post that picture I found of you on Instagram where you look just like your son. I could have sworn that was Jules.
That was back in the day, bro.
Man, I could have sworn that was Jules on that picture, man. And I see your name on there. I said, man, that's crazy.
And Jules, he swears up and down he doesn't look anything like me.
Keep on talking about some damn Juju braids. I'm gonna post that picture on Twitter.
It's posted on IG.
I'm gonna post it on Twitter. And I'm gonna say, and the caption gonna say this mofo over here. This mother.
we listening to him.
I'm gonna say this mother. Y'all block this motherfucker.
All right. There he is, y'all. All right, Dion. Definitely appreciate you, man. Much love to you, bro. Hey, good luck this weekend. Hopefully I get to see y'all. You be careful, man. Take care.
Man. All right, appreciate it. All right.
Yep. My dude, man, Dion Barrett, y'all. The son is playing for the 15s on the pro skill squad. Great dude, man. Great dude, y'all. If you guys don't know him, you guys really need to get to know him because he's awesome dude. Loved him from the very beginning, man. We had some shaky grounds earlier when he joined our ranks, if you will, in the 2016 class, and but it's been a great ride ever since. But long story short, on all this, y'all, I brought together two guys, y'all, that have kids through this game, and they've been very integral parts of the wheel of this AAU thing here in the DFW and the state of Texas. Derek Shelby of now team TRAE Young in Oklahoma, has built teams after teams after teams. Even before his kid was even known, he had a couple of teams. He said he was with the Texas Titans. He was one of the discoverers, if you will, Christopher Columbus style discovery, right? Mike Miles, Cade Cunningham, he was there to help, make that happen for the Texas Titans. So, and the story after that. He had Jerry Baptiste and Schneider Harrod. Schneider Harrod was 2016 went Mississippi. Well, went to Ole Miss, and no, he went to Mississippi State. I'm sorry. It was a great kid, big man that went to PCA, Plano Prestonwood Christian Academy. The stories of Jordan Walsh, Trey Clayton, Rylan Griffin. As you said, he had Bryce Griggs, Trey White, Lee Dort, and his kid Noah Shelby, and he always got the bad rap, man. Is this all about his kid? Let me give y'all something in a nutshell. It's always going to be about my kid. You know what I'm saying? The whole goal of me getting involved with this was for my kid. You know what I'm saying? I remember when I first started doing this. You know how I really got started in all this? Short story, right? The recreation league that we put Jules in at 5 years old, the coach never showed up. And I was, a couple times I'd take him to practice, and the coach wasn't there, so I'd be out on the court working Jules out and doing some drills with him. And then all of a sudden, the other kids would join in, and all of a sudden I ended up, parents coming to me, and all of a sudden I'm the coach, and so that formulated a team called DeSoto Heat. Somehow that transported into AAU. And after that, I said, you know what? How can I help not only my son, but how can I be different than all the other dads? What can separate me as a dad and coach, from everybody else? I wanted to build a platform which we called DeSoto Heat One Nation. It was a podcast, original podcast when Jules was in the 4th grade. I don't know if a lot of you guys remember that or not, but I said one thing that I'm going to do differently, and I'm not going to, pump up my own kid. I'm not going to do that. Now, my wife gave me hell over that, right? Trust me, wifeys can be tough in this game, right? Trust me when I tell you that. But I said I wanted to build this pot full of good guards in that 2016 class, and I didn't have to overhype it. It was already good nationally because we traveled nationally and so forth. So I think the more we praise the other kids, I hope my thought process in all this was if these kids are going to be good and everybody knows this nationally, then my kid is going to have to play against those kids one day, right? And he might have the game of his life in front of the right school, because all it takes is one school, y'all. One school can make them can make your dreams come true when it concerns a scholarship. And I always knew that in the back of my head. So that's one of the reasons what made me create the podcast originally. And we'd had all kind of kids on here, man. De'Aaron Fox, Jason Tatum, Josh Langford, who's at Michigan State. Uh, uh, man, so many kids. So many kids. We had a lot of the New York kids, a lot of the California Uzi Ali, SoCal, uh, Las Vegas Dream Visions, all these kind of. Anyway, so it grew, in other words. But make no mistake about it, it all started because I needed to coach. I ended up having to coach my kid from the very beginning. Not that I sought out to do it. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, we all have to find a way to do something for our kids. All right. Now, as far as the daddy balling and so forth, I'm not a fan of that. I never was. As far as when I tried to coach, I treated my kid hard, and he was treated probably the harshest of all the kids. And I tell you this, I always said this: if I can mold him early and shape him into what's right and what's wrong, I'm good. He can play for anybody. And I did that third, fourth, and fifth grade, and then I passed him on. Ever since then, I've been like the guy on the sidelines. Might have been a GM or, a time or two, or one of the recruiters and so forth, a time or two, right? But it's always been about making things easier for my kid. You know what I'm saying? And then it trickulated into what's best for the team. Because if what's best for the team is always going to be best for what? My kid, right? Because it's the team. Still comes back to my kid, no matter how you slice and dice it. There's nothing wrong with that. That's human nature. How you go about that, how you show that every day is on you. All right. And so I wanted to bring to today, tonight for you guys to see, two guys that have done it kind of differently a little bit, different styles with Deion Barrett versus Derek Shelby, a harsher way versus a smoother way, or the do it they way kind of way in Derek Shelby, and nothing wrong with they way, you know what I'm saying? Versus a more harsher, from the streets kind of way of doing things, and Deion Barrett, and I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you took some notes. Hope it was kind of helpful for you to understand how hard it is for them to be able to balance being a coach and a dad at the same time, or when to know how to separate that and so forth for all you other coaches that are coming up right now, because it can be a cruel world as far as you trying to find other good players to play with your kid if you're out making it all about your kid. So I do want to make sure that we touch home on that. And I do want to make sure you also understood that, there was a time when people didn't get along or didn't agree. You know what I'm saying? But somehow in them early years, right, that's the way it was. But when we got into the high school years, you're all friends. We were all friends. Like, man, it was like almost like having a family reunion, when we see each other at the high school games and so forth. So my message here right now for you is you parents, stop getting into it with each other all the time. It's okay to be, supportive of your kid and your team, but when it comes to fighting the other team, they cheated and all that, they using all the kids, all that. Come on, let's stop that, because I guarantee you when your kids get in high school, y'all going to be buddy, chum. You never know when you're going to have to end up playing with somebody, I remember my son played against Marquise Bolden, his whole career down there. Chase Winchester, his whole career, but they ended up teammates and won the state championship at DeSoto High School together. You know what I'm saying? So, think about that stuff, man, when you're arguing and fighting with your the other team's parents and so forth. Laugh it off, man. Have a good time. and enjoy the moment of watching your kids at that early age. God, I wish I could go back sometimes and see my son play back then in the 5th and 6th grade, against some of those top players that he played against. It was fun. Don't get me wrong, it was stressful, but it was fun too. So I hope you got something from this tonight. Next week's show, gonna be a hot one, y'all. The international players coming to America. How legit really is that? And is it the old myth right now? Oh, they're too old. They play professional leagues and so forth. We kind of stumbled across something last week with a player that played allegedly professionally, but we got to start understanding the terms of these so-called professional leagues overseas. There's different tiers and so forth. So we're going to kind of bring all that together in one show. We've got a couple of people that are, we might have an agent or two on with us to explain all that. We might even have some people that represent some of these basketball associations overseas on as well. I'm really looking forward to that show. SPCA, the Spring Creek Academy, which is a newer prep school that has nothing but European players on their squad. They're going to be on to talk about their program, what kind of paperwork and so forth that they come up with to make sure that their kids are legit. And so we're going to touch base on all that. So I think next week's going to be a real good informative show that you guys want to really check out because I'm going to provide some pros and I'm going to provide some cons, and they might not like some of the stuff that but I'm trying to bring it from your perspective. You know what I'm saying? Because this is how a lot of you parents, a lot of us parents, really feel about the European player now playing against us, especially when, a lot of those kids played overseas or in these leagues full time. They go to school for 2 or 3 hours, and then the rest of the day, nothing but basketball training. Is that a fair advantage? You know what I'm saying? So we're going to talk about that kind of stuff as well. So we're going to be all over the place in that arena next week. So I hope you guys join me. Again, definitely want to thank Derek Shelby for coming on, Deion Barrett for coming on. Those of you guys that are in the chat room, Pete Ely, Eric, Chill, Clark, my dude. Who else was in there? We had a couple more people. Dora the Explorer. Yeah, Stacey Houston, definitely thank you for joining us as well. George Clay. And I think that's it. Yeah. Matt Classic, I don't know who that is, but thank you for joining us as well. I hope you enjoyed yourself tonight. See you guys next week. This is Paul Miranda, the Real Talk Nation, trying to provide you with something new, something fresh, definitely keeping it different from all the rest. We out. We out.